guys, today we are going to be
propagating lavender.
And once you know what to do, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Takes patience, but you can't ask for an easier plant to propagate than lavender. And I am going to be propagating it because my lavender needed to be trimmed. And to me, what does that tell me? That means more baby plants. So let's go do this. And I will show you how to trim your lavender and propagate your lavender. Let's go check it out. Hey guys, I wanted to take a moment out. I started to trim up my lavender. Here I gave it a little haircut. And I got this one to trim back. But now is the time of year you want to give your lavender a little haircut. Don't go too radical. I leave it just above the woody growth. If you want to keep your lavender looking beautiful and full, you want it to thrive, so you got to trim it back. Alrighty? And fall is the perfect time of year to do it. Isn't that right? So with these trimmings, what I will do is I will go ahead and propagate some of my lavender. I'm going to put in some root tone, hopefully I have some new plants, which I will show you. We'll do a walkthrough. And then I will save the flowers and the leaves, and even some of the stems that I'm not using for my incense. Alrighty guys, so yeah, let's take it to the propagation stage. Come here. Say hi. Say hi to... Well, she's out of here. So I showed you that I trimmed up my lavender and I have all my little goodies right here. Well, I'm going to go through these and I'm going to propagate some very similar to what I did with the pine. This is a great time of year to go ahead and start trimming up your lavender. You want to do it twice a year to keep your bushes nice and full and to get great flowers from your lavender plants. See that? Isn't that pretty? Smells so good. I kind of neglected mine because we moved this year and they've been in pots. They've been waiting to get in the ground for a very long time. I'm going to show you. I'm going to pick out some good stems here. I'm going to pour a little water in my pot just to get it ready. It's going to pour out onto my table. Nice. And then the rest of it, I'm going to keep a lot of this for when I make incense. So once again, I keep my root tone in these bags. I try and be very careful with it. Alrighty guys, here is the root tone. I have used all 3 and I've had success with all 3. I do want to encourage you to wear gloves when utilizing it, and if need be, wear one of those little masks, the little dust masks, or just be really careful. You don't want to breathe it in. It's root tone, so you don't want to get any of that dust in your lungs. Make sure you wash your hands after utilizing it. But like I said, I've had success with all 3. And yeah, that's root tone. Stop chewing on my microphone. Hey, stop. What is this? Ow, what is this? What is this? Stop. You want to help propagate today? Ow, ow, ow. Hey, kisses. Kisses only. Kisses only. Kisses. Kisses only. Come here, come here. Say hi. And that is a product review. Say hi. Say hi to everybody. Go play. You can expect 2 to 4 years out of a lavender plant, maybe longer if you're real diligent about taking care of them. They get real like stemmy and whatnot. So what I did was, as you saw earlier in the video, that I trimmed up my 2 plants. I am looking so forward to planting them this year and giving them a great head start. I also am looking forward to propagating them. When I propagate my lavender, I'm going to be sticking them in root tone. I'm going to start by trimming off any blossoms, and then I'm going to take the leaves back. I personally like going with, you don't want to go with too woody stems. Let's see, where are my gloves? Went out to get gloves and I got lost along the way. So right here, you're starting with some of the woody stem and then you're coming into the new growth. What I'm going to do is I'm going to break it off right here. And I'm going to utilize this stem. This is a lot of new growth here. I have my cup of water right there. I'm going to dip it in there. My root tone's almost empty, so I am just going to dip it right in. Okay, so and I have my thing of dirt here. I'm just going to slide it right in there. My first guy. Do that a couple more times. So any of your perennials that are your woody perennials that start looking a little shaggy, it's always good to make sure that you take the time to prune your plants, because that's what's going to keep them healthy. It's what's going to keep them going. Fall time of year is great because you're heading into winter. It is November, that as we're going into winter, the energy is going to be going down into the roots to regenerate for spring. Keep in mind, when gardening and trying propagation, it's a learning experience, and it's something you can expect a lifetime of learning from, because you learn new stuff all the time. You can read it in a book, but it's not the same as hands-on experience. One of my greatest, I would say, inspirations, mentors in gardening was my grandmother. She was constantly doing this, constantly taking little sprigs of things, putting them in root tones, sticking them in the ground. She had plants around her all the time. Yeah, she was my inspiration, my babcia, my little Polish-Ukrainian grandmother. Very careful with root tone. You don't want to be playing in it, that's for sure. And keep it away from pets, keep it away from children. Yeah, see, take it back like that. Take off your flowers. I'll leave it like that, just like that. See that? You don't want a ton of energy working on going into the leaves. You want it going into rooting. Okay, guys, be right back. Now on to my culinary lavender. Now with your lavenders, a lot of people are afraid to get into the culinary lavenders. So I'm going to take it just about that. Got a tiny little bit of woodiness. There's the new growth. I'm leaving a little end on the tip for photosynthesis. If you have ever wanted to explore cooking with lavender, it is wonderful. I don't recommend using just any lavender. You want to go with a culinary lavender, like Lavandula Munstead. It's an English lavender. That is what I am pruning and propagating here. People assume that they're going to be extremely floral. Well, yes, if you go with a French lavender, they have a higher camphor content, and they're really good for soaps, for sachets, etc. They're breaking a little more easily, so I'm going to go with little baby ones like that. They'll have bitter notes to it and a little heat to it. Lavender is a wonderful sleep aid. I love propagation, and the reason I love propagation is because, well, you know, plants are expensive, and we're on a budget, and I make the most out of what I have. If I come across a plant I would love to have, I'll propagate it. Darn it, broke it. Well, there's a real nice one. Propagation is good for the plants, good for us, and yeah, it makes the world a more beautiful place, I think, because plants are awesome. All right, just about done. A few more of these. So last but not least, I take a little Ziploc bag and I go ahead and keep it tinted. Keep it hydrated, and don't keep it with wet feet because that won't be good. But these little guys are doing pretty darn good. They've been in there about a week and they're trucking along. By spring, we should have some little sproutlings. And even then, you still want to make sure that you're careful in how you handle them when they're pretty darn young. I wait till I start to see a little bit of growth coming from them before I will actually go and transplant them from that little container. There is the Lavandula Munstead, all tinted. It's just doing its thing. No chicken fighting, no chicken fighting, no chicken fighting. See that? That's you. That's you. Okay, so when you start to know plants getting too woody, too outgrown, they're just not yielding the same. The beautiful thing about propagation is you can keep it going. You can just keep on trucking with it. So yes, I hope this video helped you. And if you haven't seen my video on propagating pine trees, just click right here. Or is it here? It might be here, but it might be here. We'll see. See you soon. God bless.
Dippity-doo-dah, dippity-ay. My, oh my, what a wonderful day. Plenty of sunshine heading my way. Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-ay.